Breaking news. Alleged fraudery. Supreme Court okays extradition of Nigerian man to US, but not Abba Kyari. Okay. Hello, my wonderful people. The Attorney General of the Federation is one of the most unjust person, yet he bears the office and the symbol representing justice, although it has nothing to do with that very office to which Buhari has called him into. We all know the case of Abba Kyari, the disgraced cop who, why people thought he was doing excellently well. He was being, cheered for and paraded, given awards and all that, not knowing around the man lock a corridor of greed and mishap where this man is doing things, shady things along the lines. Well, a Nigerian man as well has got himself in some fraud. And guess what? Attorney General wasted no time. As a matter of fact, with urgency, with the emphasis on urgency, he sent the man quickly to be extradited, of which Nigeria has broke out in outrage, saying, Oga, what's your problem? You will know why he quickly sent the man away. Let's get all the details. Alleged forgery. Supreme Court okays extradition of Nigerian man to the US. The Supreme Court has granted the request for the extradition of one Prince Will Anaboa, wanted in the United States for his alleged complicity in some criminal activities and the part he played. The extradition request was made by the Attorney General of the Federation. Listen, and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami through the Center Authority Unit CAE of the Federal Unit of Justice headed by the Akbata Plus Ottoman. A five-member panel of the Supreme Court in a judgment on Wednesday allowed the panel by the appeal to the AGF to restore the June 1st, 2020 judgment by Justice Enyanweko of the Federal High Court, Abuja, and set aside November 6th, 2020 judgment by the Court of Appeal in Abuja. The Court of Appeal had in its judgment in the appeal marked the numbers there fixed by Mr. Anyaboa received the federal government by the Federal High Court, which granted the AGF request to surrender Anyaboa for trial in the U.S. on the pending two-count charges of conspiracy to commit wiring fraud and aiding and abetting in the process. The Court of Appeal also ordered a retrial of the Federal High Court, a decision the AGF appealed to the Supreme Court, with Mr. Anyaboa filing a cross appeal to challenge the order to reiterate and pray that the court should set him free instead of extraditing him to the U.S. Justice Helene and the late counsel of the Supreme Court, which Justice Terjuni Abubakar read on Wednesday, faulted the Court of Appeal's judgment and proceeded to set it aside. Justice Ogunwoju upholds the judgment of Justice Eko of the Federal High Court that the AGF supplied sufficient materials as requested under the Extradition Act to warrant the grant of the extradition request. She allowed the appeal by the AGF dismissed the cross appeal of Enyeboa on the grounds that it was without merit. This has caused an outrage among Nigerians on how quick and swift the Attorney General is to send Mr. Yeboah off to the US on the request of the extradition, who has not augured the same or answered to the same request on Abba Kyari, whose extradition request has been since last year. So that's the Attorney General of the Federation for you. A man who is very unjust. Not a man who is so unjust. A man who I mean, when you look at him, you can see injustice written all over him. It was the same Attorney General that the United States of America requested that Abba Kyari be extradited on the same account of fraud. Guess what? The Attorney General at some point said he has not even found a single fault on Abba Kyari. The same man has quickly sent one Mr. Ayaboa off to the US on the request of the extradition case that the US have requested, that he was part or parcel of some extradition, or some fraudulent wiring or aiding and all those things that had to do with Yahoo Yahoo. So the guy has appealed it. Guess what? The Attorney General himself is the one fighting the matter, saying no, let him be extradited. You see the man? You see the kind of person we have as the Minister of Justice, and some of you will tell me that we have justice, truth, and integrity in this country. I beg to differ. Honestly, I beg to differ. This is the same person who will not release Abba Kyari. In fact, he said it with his mouth that he has found nothing wrong. When Nigerians faced him, he said, no, that was not what he meant. And the matter has been misinterpreted here and there. This same man, Falana was the one who told us that he feel very sorry for Abba Kyari, who agreed. Okay, he said Abba Kyari agreed to what Nigerian government set him up for. Do you know the whole drug deal thing is sounding more like, an arrangement so that Abba Kyari do not leave the country? Do you understand where we are coming from? Yes. So the whole drug thing, it was Falana, the human rights activist, that said he feel very much for our very own brother Abba Kyari. That why will he agree to such? You know why? I will explain to you. Now, in the extradition, there's a clause there. Somebody cannot be extradited to another country if in his own country there are cases he has to answer. So they have to look for a strong case that can potentially keep him in Nigeria, for which he will not be extradited to the US. They have to look for something. Somehow, they just have to look for something that will keep him back in the in Nigeria and will not be extradited to the US. And so Falana asked, he said he feel very strongly for this young man. That why will he agree to such, nonsense? But guess what? It's all plot, it's all part of the plan to ensure that the guy is not sent to the US. But when it came to Mr. Yeboah, they were so quick. In fact, the Attorney General was on his toes. It's as though if the man is not extradited, he will not have rest to send the man off. Can you see? That's why Nigerians are outraged, asking if there is the same fair pen, fairness, justice, equality, and truth like we all profess. Is there anything like that? Is there anything called truth in this country? Is there anything related to that area? Is there anything like that? I beg to differ. We may not have such. We don't have such. What we have is injustice written all over the place. He was very quick to ask that the man be sent away. Leave us a comment. God bless you. Do have a lovely and a fantastic day. Bye for now.